there, liberty lovers. Welcome to Are You Smarter Than a Libertarian, the show where we test if your brain's equilibrium stands up to the free market of ideas. Today we've got a blockbuster subject. Elon Musk, government slashing DOGE. No, not the meme coin, but the Department of Government Efficiency, and why Ludwig von Mises would have told Elon, hold your rockets, friend. If you really want to make a lasting difference, you got to teach economics to the masses. So buckle up. We're rocking straight into an 8-minute libertarian roller coaster. Get ready to have your statist illusions blasted into the stratosphere. 1. Elon's ambitious DOGE and its limitations. Let's start with Elon Musk creating the Department of Government Efficiency, slashing waste in government like an overzealous chef with a samurai sword. If you're a libertarian, you're probably popping confetti cannons thinking, finally, the great overlord of Twitter, Tesla, and SpaceX is busting up government bloat. But, plot twist, there's more to it. Sure, trimming waste is awesome, but from a hardcore Misesian standpoint, or Austrian standpoint, Elon's only scratching the surface. Why, you may ask? Because what led to this mountainous mess of bureaucracy in the first place wasn't just corrupt politicians or greedy lobbyists, but the public's widespread economic ignorance. And I've been guilty of that in my past as well. See, if you believe that the government can magically plan the economy, you'll keep voting for more central planning. And if you're convinced that war spending isn't wasteful, you'll cheer when it balloons. That's the root cause Mises identified, a lack of economic education. So until public opinion changes, any slash and burn approach to big government is like hacking at the branches while leaving the trunk intact. Part 2. Mises' primary civic duty. Educate, educate, educate. One of the biggest takeaways from Ludwig von Mises, particularly in his monumental work, Human Action, is his emphasis on educating ordinary folks in economics. As he puts it, and I quote, economics must not be regulated to the classroom and statistical offices. It is the philosophy of human life and action and concerns everybody and everything. Translation. Economics affect literally everything. You can run from it, but you can't hide. If you cast a ballot, you're making a statement about your economic worldview, whether you know it or not. If you support or oppose Musk's DOGE, you're basically airing your personal economic stance. Mises argued that since public opinion rules the day, especially in democracies, if the masses remain ignorant of how real free markets benefit society, they will forever vote for politicians who promise freebies, war expansion, or more government protections. And guess what? They'll be baffled by runaway deficits, inflation, or depressions. That's how we get stuck on the hamster wheel of big government. Instead, Mises said, it's a primary civic duty to study and teach economics because if enough people get it, the entire electorate changes. Elon's growing awareness, but not yet Misesian. Now, to give the man credit, Elon seems to be stumbling in the right direction. He's posted memes praising Friedrich Hayek and even recommended The Road to Serfdom, openly calling Hayek the best economist ever. That's a major step for the number one meme maestro, a guy once known more for launching Teslas into space than launching serious discussions about classical liberalism. But while Elon Musk rhetoric leans more pro-market these days, he's still a rookie in the Misesian big leagues. Because Mises didn't just want a superficial knowledge of economics, he wanted everyday folks to internalize the principles of voluntary exchange, profit and loss, and spontaneous order so thoroughly that big government budgets would shrivel by default. No slash required because nobody would keep voting for that nonsense in the first place. Why public economic ignorance really is the root problem. The article we're summarizing from the Mises Institute nails it. The problem isn't just whichever politico is in office. It's not just that your neighbor or cousin or old college buddy votes the wrong way. The deeper issue is that nobody taught them the basics of economics in a compelling way. From Karl Menger to Mises, we've learned that money, trade, profit and loss calculations, and the division of labor don't spring from some politician's blueprint. They emerge organically. Adam Ferguson called it the result of human action, but not the execution of any human design. Most folks have zero idea how that spontaneous process works and how vital it is. If you don't understand the markets self-organize and create wealth, you'll see political action as your go-to fix, no matter how repeatedly it fails. Argentini, Malay, and the power of education. Need real world proof? Look at Argentina's Javier Milei. The guy practically tours the country tossing out lines like Hayek, Mises, and Friedman, the way lesser politicians toss out empty promises. He built a youth movement so large that it carried him to the presidency. How did he do it? He taught people economics. He didn't just say, we'll shrink the government. He explained why you should want that, and it resonated with young people who've been convinced by their parents and grandparents that like the ultimate multi-level marketing scheme, but for liberty and reason, not herbal supplements. Excuse me. Now, Malay's path mirrors what Ron Paul did in the U.S., speaking at universities, champion Austrian economics. Both realize that if you don't fix the ideas, the policies remain stuck on autopilot, and that's the difference between Elon's DOGE trimming waste and Mises' deeper approach. Mises said to chop down the entire forest of economic fallacies through mass education. Only then can you truly carve out a freer society. When you attack government bloat, it attacks back. Look at what the Democrats did with U.S. aid. We're already seeing how the public ignorance can turn on Elon. Influential figures like Robert Reich, plus millions online, see Musk's cost-cutting as billionaires stealing from the poor, despite ignoring how government overspending actually impoverishes us. Reich even called it a coup, urging brave public servants to resist Musk. I'm going to do an entire video on Robert Reich, probably next week. Result, suddenly Tesla factories face vandalism. X, Twitter endures suspicious outage, and lawfare threatens to weigh Musk down, but Mises could have predicted it. If you wage war on big government without changing public opinion, you'll become public enemy number one. The ignorant majority, egged on by statist propaganda, simply sees you as a threat to their entitlements, and they fight back. Is there hope? Mises says yes, if we educate. One might say, okay, so should Elon just wave the white flag? Not quite. Mises stressed perseverance. He spent a lifetime championing free market ideas, even when socialism was in vogue. He wrote, and I paraphrase, I set out to be a reformer, but only because to become a historian of decline. Heartbreaking, but also galvanizing because he never gave up. His approach, he believed we can and must reach a large enough portion of the population to shift public opinion. Quitting is not an option, or, in Mises' words, there is no hope left for mankind's future. So if you're feeling the black pill doomer vibes whenever the general public calls you a monster for wanting smaller government, just remember, Mises got ridiculed for decades, yet he profoundly influenced history by planting the intellectual seeds for free market reforms later adopted worldwide. The Misesian formula, every citizen, a student, and teacher of economics. So what's the big takeaway from this Mises Institute piece, essentially? Yes, celebrate Elon's big government bullfighting, but realize that the real solution in turning the masses into amateur economists who see the power of voluntary exchange, that's the real win for us. It's only when the public grasps the anti-war, anti-inflation, pro-prosperity basis of sound economics will the government coerce competition-immune monopolistic ways finally shrink for real and for good. And I think we all want that. Mises concluded the book Human Action by warning us that ignoring economic truth means we'll stamp out society and the human race. Dramatic? You bet. But it underscores the stakes. If we turn our backs on economic literacy, we let myths guide us into tyranny and endless wars. The myth of the robber barons is a great example. Now, your homework. Become an economic evangelicalist. That's it, folks. If you want to show that you're truly smarter than a libertarian, you've got to beat us at our own game by diving deep into the wonders of the free market. Take a page from Milei and Ron Paul's playbook. Talk to your friends, families, coworkers, random folks in the grocery store line. I do this all the time. Spread the news that government central planning isn't your friend and that real capitalism equals real prosperity and real equality. So next time you catch Elon Musk valiantly whacking government bloat with DOGE, cheer him on, but also remember Mises' lesson. Real change starts with winning hearts and minds through economic education. That is the Misesian formula for prosperity and the only real route to genuine freedom for everyone. Thank you for tuning in to Are You Smarter Than a Libertarian? If you enjoyed today's show, drop a like, comment, and share. New videos drop every day. Until next time, stay free, stay informed, and stay accountable. Have a great day.